welcome to the big show, ladies and gentlemen. Patreon, how are you? It's a Tuesday. Is that right? It's a Tuesday. 833-599-NICK. 833-599-6425. The phone number. Big shout outs. Matt J. Day has signed up at the Vito level, the Vito Corleone level, the $30 level, and everything that comes with it. Matt, thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate it. Christopher Bray also made contributions at nickdip.com, and he signed up at the Sunny level. Here we are, folks. People still signing up, okay? I don't know what the future is here at Patreon. I've been hearing rumors about other people who have the same political bent as myself, and apparently those political philosophies are at odds with the people who run Patreon. But, you know, I got to admit, they've been fair. I'm still here. Can we turn this up a little, either my headphones or whatever? There you go, right there. Thank you, Jason. Well done. I asked Ryan to do that as a 20-minute. Where is he today?
I believe he is at Zumba class. I don't know what it was.
He's got a Zumba class, and then he's got Dungeons and Dragons at 5, Tap at 7, and then he meets with a Cub Scout at 9:30. Oh, Nick, why do you say shit like that? Because it's the internet. Yeah. So thank you guys. Shout outs. Love it. Look, Christmas is upon us, and I'm sure some of you guys are still trying to figure out what to get your friends and family or for that jerk-off liberal at work that you got stuck with in Secret Santa. Well, your worries are over. From now until December 20th, that's what, tomorrow or 2 days from now, you can get anything from the Nick Dip store at 30% off, 30, by using promo code Patreon30. This is a code just for you guys to show you how much I appreciate your support and to make you and your family walking billboards for the show. You have to spread the word. Okay, the whole world seems to be global cum guzzlers, as far as I can see. So get a hat, get a shirt, CD, DVD, or autograph ones at nickdip.com/store. Use code Patreon30. Again, great Christmas gifts, great time. You got friends who are fans of mine or relatives, and the crazy uncle at Thanksgiving. I love how anybody who thinks like we do is a crazy uncle at Thanksgiving. How about a douchey aunt from Burlington at Halloween? You want to fucking poison her fucking Reese's? Nick, why? Because we can. This was funny. This is from Gay Cliff, one of our favorites. Gay fella. Matter of fact, later on in the show, I'm going to play. He's in a band, and they did a Christmas thing. This guy can play guitar. He's very interesting. He does it all. But I got a kick out of this. This says thesaurus, antonyms related, word is synonyms, legend, noun 1, Old Nick, Judeo-Christian and Islamic religions, chief spirit of evil, and adversary of God, tempter of mankind, master of hell. My wife and everybody close to me would agree with that. Beelzebub, Devil, Lucifer, Prince of Darkness, Satan the Tempter. I just think I found my name for my new album. Any one of those. Prince of Darkness. We could do a wordplay on that. It doesn't have to be darkness. Prince of, I don't know, but that's hilarious. First of all, Old Nick, what does that even mean? I mean, it describes me perfectly. I have the shoulders of a 78-year-old and the hips of a 91-year-old. Chief spirit of evil and adversary of God. I don't know about God. I'm agnostic. I don't know which way to go. I guess when I get really sick and I'm in the hospital, I'll be a big fan. But until then, tempter of mankind. I don't even know what that fucking means. Master of hell, I do know. That's leaving dirty dishes in the sink, farting, that type of nonsense. Never did anything evil in my life that, well, if you don't compared to the Ten Commandments, I guess. But I once watched the Gilligan Island Marathon. I would say that would be evil. 12 hours of Gilligan's Island on like a fucking New Year's Day. You know how they do those marathons? My favorite ones are the Lockup. You know the show Lockup? I can't get enough. I've watched marathons that I've already seen before. And it's my favorite show. Don't see much of it lately. But thank you, Cliff, for letting the rest of the world know that old Nick is a spirit evil and adversary of God. But which God? I mean, Nancy Pelosi is a god to a lot of people. Obama was. So yes, in that sense, I am the Prince of Darkness. Can somebody make a mic stand that's not 10 inches fucking tall? Please? There has to be a couple dwarfs out there with a podcast. Maybe I can look at their equipment. Somebody. Mick Jagger, he's only 4'11". Speaking of Prince of Darkness, Penny Marshall died today. You know, if you're at my age, late 50s, they're dropping dead left and right. All the people I watched in the 70s, they're just dropping. I wonder why I can hear that background hiss in my... I wonder what's changed. Don't touch it. But that was dead silent before, Jace. I don't know what... long as the end product sounds good, but why should I have to listen to that if I wasn't months ago? I don't know. Penny Marshall passed away. Penny Marshall. Very nice lady.
Bye-bye.
Bronx-born actress, famed for her sassy character on the TV classic Laverne, which I fucking hated, like most heterosexual red-blooded Americans of all stripes, males. I hated that show so fucking much. But she was the director of movies like Big, A League of Their Own. I won't hold it against her. She worked with that fucking cheese-eating, heavy cream gobbling, bonbon munching Rosie O'Fat-Dunnel. Marshall, 79, succumbed to complications from diabetes at her home in Hollywood Hills on Monday night. And it's funny, my wife's a huge fan of this show and a lot of that 70, and they're all dropping. She has pictures of Dick Van Dyke and all these autographed pictures that she sent, and I just walk in and I flip them over. There's like 8 pictures in her office that are flipped over. These people are dropping faster than my parents' friends. Right around the same age. She'd been I didn't know she was really sick since 2009. She had lung cancer spread to her brain. She was best known for her 70s and 80s on-screen antics as Laverne DeFazio. Had a great set of legs. Had a face like a boot, but nice lady. Talented lady. Went on to direct Awakenings. Remember that one? And, yeah. But here's where I question her. Well, I loved her. I loved her on The Odd Couple when she was Oscar Madison's secretary. She was actually funny. Here's a clip.
Yes, Mr. Unger, I'm spraying right now.
What a voice. Yay, yay, yay.
Pinewood, yes. Mr. Unger, everything is just the way you wanted it. See? You can't see. Trust me. Yes, I'm standing up straight. Mr. Unger, I am not slumping. He's coming. Goodbye.
That's my phone.
Good morning, Myrna.
Good morning, Mr. Madison.
Did I ever tell you you were beautiful?
No, nobody has.
And she wasn't, but she was charming, and she was very good on that show. And Jack Klugman, he be gone. I was going to pull up a clip of Jack talking about Penny Marshall years ago, right after he had the throat operation. He makes Stephen Hawking sound like Pavarotti. He had this creepy, and it wasn't one of those mechanical blowholes. It was just, he had something removed. It was like, I mean, she was a great actress, and who knew that she could direct? I mean, just a huge talent, right? Almost makes me want to quit, but not quite. 833-599-6425. 833-599-6425. My wife has a Jack Klugman, and he just went a little while ago. So again, it's like a cemetery in there. I have to laugh my balls off. That's why I follow 25-year-old models on Latina.org. They're not going to die till well after I'm dead. You are correct, sir. Here's her big mistake I might hold against you. She would later marry Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner? The fuck are you thinking about? They grew up in the Bronx, across the Grand Course from each other. They grew up across the street, but the Grand Concourse is a very busy street. They never saw each other. And later on, they divorced after 10 years because even she was like, this guy is batshit crazy with his hippie fucking antics. You ever see him today? Makes Judd Apatow look like Strom Thurmond. We'll get to Judd in a few minutes. Somebody has to put a clamp on that fucking idiot. And I want to like him. I did the young comedian special with him on HBO. He's just fucking mentally ill, like most lefties when it comes to politics. Just fucking stone cold out of his goddamn mind. And I'll tell you why when we get to this next story. But Penny Marshall, rest in peace. Hopefully Shirley's not far behind. Why would you say that? Couldn't stand that show. Shamil Shamazel, Secondary Bubba da Book. Poor Jason. Jason, you were born when, Jason?
93.
93. That show was popular in like 75. Holy shit. 18 years before Jason was even a tinkle in his mother's eyes.
Just missed it.
Just a bit outside. Let's get on to it. You guys know I'm a big fan of Tucker Carlson. Have been for a long time. Even when he's on CNN wearing that dumb bow tie 20-something years ago. Always said, because he was on CNN, which was left-leaning back then, but he always, to me, was the voice of reason. This was before I had hair on my pencil. I was very young and not indulging in politics the way I do now, but always said, this guy is bright and eloquent, and he is. I think he's the best thing. I didn't realize how dumb Bill O'Reilly was till Tucker replaced him. And O'Reilly's not dumb. That's a wrong thing. By the way, O'Reilly's got another best-selling, New York Times best-selling book, Killing the SS. If you just put killing in front of any title, Killing Penny Marshall, that would sell $1 trillion. Killing fucking Cindy Williams, that would be Shirley. But he's got another New York Times #1 bestseller. Matter of fact, Tucker had the best-selling book, Ship of Fools, and O'Reilly knocked it out a few months ago. I think with this book, The Killing of the SS or whatever. I heard him being interviewed on the radio today. You know how many killing books he has sold? Killing Jesus, Killing Kennedy, Killing Pat. You know how many he sold? And that's there. How about 17 million? You can call him whatever you want. He's not. He's got this guy Dugard that he works with, and me and Quinn always calling Quinn jokes about it. Calling because I can see Dugard at the typewriter working his balls off. O'Reilly sitting in his chair with his hands in his balls and his boxers, eating fucking Triscuits, yelling at him. 17 million books O'Reilly has sold. If he gets $2 a book, he's filthy, and we know he gets more than that. On top of all the other, God bless him. But, he was chased off TV, basically, by the fucking lefties. They're trying to do the same thing to his replacement. Tucker Carlson defiant after losing 3 more advertisers to left-wing blacklisting campaign. I didn't even know that was fucking going on. Did you? Here's what I say to them.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
The Wrap reports that Bowflex, don't buy any of that shit anymore. Anybody still buying Bowflex? I'll buy it when I buy a fucking London Fog so I can hang it on it. Pacific Life, Smile Direct Club. Oh, that's a big one. And Indeed. That's Indeed.com where I found Jason. Jason, do you realize that?
Yeah, well, I had no idea they were idiots.
Yeah, now we know. Fucking Indeed, cocksuckers. You are cocksuckers indeed. Anyways, they all dropped from Tucker's show. Removed their ads from Tucker Carlson tonight after Tucker Carlson made comments criticizing immigration policy. He wasn't criticizing it. Well, he was, but so what? So now he should lose his, he's got a different opinion than these jackoffs. Carlson faced a social media backlash after saying that immigration can make the United States dirtier and contribute to poverty. He says we have a moral obligation to admit the world's poor. They tell us, when he says tell us, they mean the elites, the libs, the globalists. Even if it makes our own country poorer and dirtier and more divided. Hollywood director Judd Apatow, who, boy, Judd, I'm trying not to. I'm gonna run into you at the Comedy Cellar, and I'm gonna order a fucking hot bowl of borscht and toss it right in your New York, dumb Long Island, liberal, retarded, juvenile face. I don't care how many bad movies you make. You are everything that's wrong with the world. You really are. Tucker Carlson he doesn't have 1/2% of the fucking hate that you accuse him of, that Chris Matthews does, all the other fucking jerks that they march out on CNN to shit on Trump. You have it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like you're not fucking bright. I knew that from your movies, but yeah, Apatow joined in the pylon using his Twitter to target Subaru. Oh no, Subaru. First of all, if you drive a Subaru, you're probably a lesbian from Vermont. You're doing 11 miles an hour in the left lane. I want to ram you with my fucking Dodge Ram that gets 3 gallons to the wheel revolution. Knock you and your life partner over, and you can fucking lose that 12 gallons of maple syrup that you fucking pumped at the... Nick, you're rambling. I know. Director Apatow joined on the pylon using Twitter to target Subaru and Pfizer over their advertising on Tucker's show. And you know what, Judd? You know why that bothers you?
You can't handle the truth.
So fucking true. Carlson struck a defiant pose during his show on Monday, saying, "It happens all the time. The enforcers scream racist on Twitter until everybody gets intimidated and changes the subject to the Russia investigation or some other distraction. It's a tactic, a well-worn one. Nobody thinks it's real and won't work with this show. We are not intimidated. We plan to try to say what's true until the last day." That kind of scared me when he said that. And the truth is, unregulated mass immigration has badly hurt this country's natural landscape, which he's absolutely... Look what it's done to fucking Europe. Did you learn anything from thick ankle Merkel, who makes Hillary look like a swimsuit model? Wake up. Are you that ensconced in your own PC bubble? Honest to God, when it comes to race and ethnicity, you guys have a mental illness on the left. I can't even... Take a trip to our southwestern deserts, he says, if you don't believe it. Thanks to illegal immigration, huge swaths of the region are covered with garbage and waste that degrade the soil and kill wildlife, Tucker said. None of that is false. Not one fucking syllable. There's what they call empirical evidence. Okay, it's all over the fucking social media. There's pictures all over the news. But people like Judd Apatow bury their head in the sand and just keep yelling, racist bigot, because he's a fucking Tucker's a smart white guy. Racist bigot. And you know why they yell that? Because it's been working for 50 years. Because there's so many dumb motherfuckers that vote Democrat on the fucking left that still fall for this shit. How much evidence, for Christ's sake? Anaheim, California. There's tents for miles. People set up in homeless camps. It looks like Brazil. So how do you say he's fucking wrong? Well, those aren't all immigrants. Whatever. Once they're here, what do you think they're going to do? Buy houses in fucking Simi Valley? You're full of shit. You can't handle the fucking truth. And you know who it hurts? This fucking immigration, this push, this caravan. Do you know who it hurts? Other legal immigrants, other people of the same ethnicity and race. You just fucking blinded to your own left-wing horseshit ideology. Anybody who wants to protect the borders and enforce laws that are on the books, they're not bigots. They're not racist. They're sane. More than we can say for you. A Fox News spokesman told Breitbart News in a statement Monday that Fox News Channel will, and this is in quotes from Fox News Channel, continue to stand by and work with our advertisers through these unfortunate, unnecessary distractions. And that's all they fucking are, you know. Then it says, Tucker Carlson, racism charges won't work with this show. We're not intimidated. Here's what he said that got him in such trouble.
Instead, our leaders demand that you shut up and accept this. We have a moral obligation to admit the world's poor, they tell us, even if it makes our own country poorer and dirtier and more divided.
Oh, my God. The dirtier part, you can go to any fucking border town And look at the garbage and all the even in Arizona, the cactus that take forever to grow. There's piss bottles. There's shit everywhere. Tijuana, where the caravan was stopped. Remember they were hanging out there? Well, Tucker interviewed a guy from there. We'll get to that in a second. But anyways, Carlson's comments pertain to how immigration can impact the labor market, the culture, environment. All of it true. All of it absolutely true. But people like Judd Apatow just refuse to fucking admit it because they were brought up. It's this area. I've never look. I'm from Boston. It wasn't in Boston when I was growing up. Wasn't as liberal as it is now. But this tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, I don't know what's in the fucking water. I don't know that they fucking glom onto such horse shit. So Tucker Carlson interviews this guy, Genaro Lopez. He's a municipal delegate for downtown Tijuana, and he was reporting from the caravan. This is what he said about what was going on.
But I'm sorry to interrupt, but behind you, it seems that somebody's cleaning up garbage. Is there a lot of trash there?
Is that L.A. or Tijuana? Is that Anaheim?
There's a lot of trash because what I was trying to tell you, the 360 grew to 6,200. And that's when it got out of hand. So we got another facility. It's a big concert hall where you can have like 10,000 people under a roof. We send them over here, but it has to be voluntary because the people from Human Rights, they have their delegates here too, and they wanted to treat them too kindly. So the ones who didn't want to go are staying here. So there's like 1,500 people here. There's 2,200 people there, and there's like 2,000 people that we aren't accounted for.
Okay, honestly, that could be Tijuana or that could be Anaheim, California now, or parts of Los Angeles. That's what they look like now. So where does Judd Apatow and the rest of these jerk-offs get them saying Tucker's saying anything wrong? It is unfucking believable. It's go time. I mean, when they start fucking with you for a living, like if he loses advertisers and shit, when people start fucking with your living, I don't care if this is people even on the left. That's when you fucking what if you're working in a machine shop and you come in the next day and the guy next to you had stole your toolbox and wasn't going to give it back? What are you going to do? You're going to have to resort to violence or steal something of his, which the Republicans don't seem to know how to do. But the left keeps yelling bigot, racism, all that fucking horseshit, like they're somehow morally superior. When we have pictures like that proving everything that comes out of Tucker's mouth is right on the fucking money. I mean, you guys are in denial. You have like a mental illness. You're not going to be happy until the United States looks like the fucking last dirty fucking immigrant that crawls here from a third world shithole, and this country resembles exactly where he came from. That's when they'll be happy, because there's some type of white guilt or some horseshit, some Western guilt about past indiscretion. What if it's fucking weird? And that train of thought couldn't continue generation after generation unless the schools were involved, colleges, well, all the way down to middle school, not teaching American history. And that's why they have this constant message, and it's been working. And that's why they need these brown people to pour in, the Democrat Party, to believe more of the fucking lie. They hate this country. They hate the fucking Constitution. They're living in the wrong place. If we could just get them the fuck out. And if the shit does get rough, I'm sorry, I'm on the team with all the guns. So good luck hiding in a school gun-free zone behind Pelosi's big flabbity-dabbity fucking leathery tits.
What? Nick, why would you say that? If you didn't say that, you'd have a show on Fox News.
I don't want one! You blew it! And you blew it! So listen to this. Carl Tucker says later on, the clip I just showed is from December 3rd. He says, 10 days later, we invited Genaro Lopez back on the show to see how Tijuana was doing. Nobody else in the media seemed interested. They were too busy gobbling goo. And what happened to the caravan? As long as the migrants remained in Mexico, they couldn't really be used to attack Donald Trump. So the press moved I got to stop watching the news. Joe List told me that. And I'm like, what am I going to do for a living? Come on and talk about the Kardashians. Have you seen her ass lately? Mother of Christ! If I read one more story about a woman, I read another one today. I'm not doing it on this. Who died having ass cheek injections. I used to have a bit about it. You go in and the waiting room is a ripped beanbag chair. There's a guy laying in it. The IV bottle is an upside-down Mountain Dew fucking can with a... I don't know what album it's on. It's one of my finest bits. And I can't find it anywhere. Somebody pull it up for me. I'll send you a Nick DiPaolo fucking shot glass. Nah. All right, let's cleanse our palate as we like to do here on the show, and it gets a little heavy. Gay Clifford is one of our favorites. Patreon member, just loyal listener of the show. Same with Ronnie Bell, that's Ron Ebell. His last name is Ebell. He sends us clips, and I think I'm playing one later on. And these guys, you guys are the lifeblood of the show. Gay Cliff is a big fan of mine, which tells you I'm no homophobe. And turns out he's a talented fucking dude. He's got a band. We're going to show a clip of his band doing a Christmas song. He's on the far right playing guitar, and I actually fucking like this song. And I think, who's the guy that, Richie Castellano, who wrote my theme song, Blue Oyster Cult fame, and actually, but here's our buddy.
You're a damn terrorist. All right, just give it.
How'd it go, Cliff? Between Cliff and Jason, I'm learning guitar this year, okay? That'll be my New Year's resolution. I know the first 6 notes of 52 songs, and then I quit. Pretty Woman, I had that down. Anyhow, nice going, Cliff. What's the name of the band, Jason? Do you know? Priscilla told me, and I forgot.
They are the Degraders.
The Degraders. There you go. Deplorable, degrading. Catchy tune, goddammit. I might mix a nice batch of meth in my tub upstairs right after I... Love you, Cliff. Love you, man. Let's go to our buddy Jake. He wants to talk about the missing people from the Caribbean. They're probably in your backyard, Jake, or somewhere in Arizona taking a dump behind a cactus, you know, contributing to our society. Jake, what's going on?
Shit, no, that's a deer. There's a deer in my yard.
I
thought it was one of them, though. Same color. Hey, dude, did that guy just say 2,000 people are unaccounted for? Like, unaccounted for how?
Yeah, that's a lot of them have slipped through the cracks, and who knows whether some of them definitely got into our country, because I was looking at the numbers.
Those are some big cracks.
Yeah, the huge cracks. That's why Trump wants to build a wall, even though I think that's silly. All you need is machine guns and landmines and electric fences. It's so, I mean, it really is silly.
No, they'll parachute in.
Okay, you shoot them out of the sky. I mean, we have a right to protect our borders. Fucking hit them with heavy mortar if they parachute. Anti-aircraft.
Just get a couple linebacker tanks up there and light up the sky.
I'm telling you, man, it really is a joke. That's how you know it's about money. But the cheap labor argument doesn't work anymore because everybody's being replaced. Christ's sake, even white-collar people with, automation. And, I mean, the fact that the most powerful military the planet's ever seen can't stop a fucking the Partridge family from El Salvador is fucking laughable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
All right, Jake.
So
well,
they don't have names. They don't have numbers. They don't have.
Nah.
They don't have identification numbers of anybody. What if this was Ebola? Jesus.
Yeah, well, it is I keep reading these stories here, Jake.
I bet they'd figure out a way if it was Ebola.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. But there's people dying in nurseries. The kids are dying in New Jersey of some type of fucking, they don't even know what it is. And I can't link it directly to the caravan, but all that shit's true.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it's that.
Everything that Tucker mentioned was true, though, about so-called leftist environmentalists. They keep their mouths shut. There's more garbage. I guess it's all right to throw garbage and litter when it lands on an American's front lawn. I can't take it, Jake. But I'm moving to your state.
When we were burning down, it was because a bunch of beetles that were environmentally protected had eaten through all the wood and all the forests. They dried out. They burned up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
But those beetles, you know what happened to them? They died in the fire too.
Yes, they did. Unlike George Harrison and John Lennon, who was shot. All right, Jake. Good call, buddy. Talk to you soon. Thank you for supporting the show's a dangerous situation. Christopher, there's a fucking caravan coming on the tape. Not for nothing, T. They're throwing fucking Arby's bags on my front lawn, no? I'm telling you. I saw a shit on my front lawn and had bell peppers in it. It's them fucking immigrants. Paulie, cut it out. Cut it out. Hey, I didn't get to this story yesterday, but it made me laugh my ass up. This guy, I think his name's Dave Perry Jr., put the picture up of the hunter. This guy, you know what? You can tell he's just... If those eyes were any closer, Jesus Christ, they'd be on the bridge of his nose. And they'd be single file. He sort of looks like, I don't know, Aaron Rodgers' fucking nephew. But this guy, he's a member, 4 members of a Southwest Missouri family have been caught in a multi-year poaching case. No, they weren't poaching salmon, folks. Where authorities say hundreds of deer were killed illegally. The deer were trophy bucks taken illegally, mostly at night, for their heads, leaving the bodies of the deer to waste, said Lawrence County prosecuting attorney Don Trotter. The case was so egregious that Lawrence County Judge Robert George ordered a special addition to the jail time of one of the poachers received. A court record showed the defendant, listen to this, is to view the Walt Disney movie Bambi, with the first viewing being on or before December 23rd, 2018, and at least one such viewing each month thereafter during defendant's incarceration in the Lawrence County Jail. Why that? Why fucking, you want to punish him? Show him the Pauly Shore movies. Over and over again. We have video, I think, of Bambi. Jason's working the phone right now, but when he gets it, he's in there alone today, folks. This guy, that's why he's going to be my EP someday. What's the guy doing? Taking out a Canadian mortgage? Jason, I need the Bambi video. Poor guy's trying to get the Bambi video. Let's pull up the fucking Bambi video. Oh, can we do that again? Do it again. Do it again. Timing couldn't be worse.
Sorry, I pulled it up and the phone was ringing at the same time.
I understand. You only have 3 dicks and 4 foreheads.
That gets hard sometimes.
Was that a clip of Bambi, or was that the Vancouver Canucks defense? Good evening, folks. Anyways, yeah. So the guy has to watch Bambi once a month, and which is hilarious to me. Look at him. That'll be the best. He'll try to fuck Bambi if he could. He's got the fucking. He's got the shoulders of Dorothy Hamill. The Southwest Missouri case involves David Berry Sr. of Springfield, David Berry Jr. of Brookline, and Kyle Berry of Everton. The trio were involved in a multi-year investigation by state, federal, and Canadian law enforcement agencies and conservation officers involving suspects in Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Canada. They were poaching internationally. David Berry Jr. is the defendant, the one we showed, who he's ordered to watch Bambi and to stop shopping at Ellen DeGeneres' house. Anyway. You can take that picture down. Thank you. It is unknown how many deer in the main group of suspects has taken illegally over the past several years. Lawrence County Conservation Agent Andy Barnes said it would be safe to say several hundred were taken illegally. Prior to the July 2016 interviews, David Berry Sr. and Eric Berry, 20, Everton, were convicted of taking game fish. Jesus Christ, they just steal shit. By hand in Dade County during the 2017 firearms deer season while awaiting his court appearance for violations from the 2016 investigation. Eric Berry and an accomplice were caught spotlighting in Lawrence County. To date, this group of poachers has paid, listen to this, $151,000 in bonds and another $51,000 in fines and court costs, and collectively served 33 days in jail. And they just take the heads home. You know, these guys are like ISIS. You know, ISIS has a bunch of heads in their fucking huts. You go into their reading room. Don't make me laugh. Anyways, Randy Dolman is the MDC Protection Division Chief. He says taking just the heads is their version of obtaining a trophy, and leaving the carcass behind is merely an afterthought. While there are some cases where poachers go after the antlers for profit, with this bunch it was more about the thrill of the kill itself. Well, hey, thank God they're fucking killing deer and not people. Know what I'm saying? But you shouldn't be. I'm getting soft as I get older. You know, I fucking see deer. They're, you know, in my kitchen in the morning. As a kid, I would suffocate one with a dry cleaning bag. But now, I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake, live and let live. And then they shit in my driveway, so I throw a claw hammer at them. And then I feed them a nice bleached pancake. La da da da, la da da da.
Get out of my room, you sick cunt.
I know what you did. You're a damn terrorist. All right, just get the...
Let's go to Billy in Long Island. Billy in Long Island, how are you, Billy? What's happening? Happy Kwanzaa to you.
I'm all right, Nick. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Hey, I'm just calling because, you're not going to believe this, but before that guy called in the other day to complain about the chemo comment,
Yeah.
I was going to call up the show and just tell you, like, on Monday, I planned on calling and telling you that I was laughing my ass off because you said that specifically. I look like such an asswipe right now. You're not going to believe me. But
No,
I don't know. That took so much balls.
Well, I do.
Even though just say that off the top of your head, and I was cracking up about it, and I wanted to let you know, like, just to encourage you to keep saying shit like that,
Billy, you don't have to. It comes off the top of my head, so apparently it's buried deep in my soul. And I know when I say something like when I say something like that, I know there's somebody in the audience that night that might know a sick kid or whatever. But that's tough fucking shit. I was trying to let me break down the anatomy of a joke. I was trying to think. I was making a reference to how tired I felt, and I'm thinking, and this is how your brain works as a comic. You're like, okay, what's the most tired? And that's what came to me. A little sick kid on chemo would be exhausted. Now, how somebody can take that personally, it's not like I knew this guy, knew a sick kid or whatever, and it does backfire.
Bullshit.
Let me give you an example though, Billy. It's happened maybe 4 times in 30 years of me doing this, but I went down to Florida. A buddy I played football with up at Maine, lived in the Tallahassee area. I was doing a comedy club. He brought his family out. And I do a bit about drunk driving, and I think it's overrated how dangerous they say it is. And I do like a 4-minute chunk on drunk driving and how I do it all the time, and everybody who's whining is over-exaggerating. And then after the show, I meet my buddy, and I notice the family's a little awkward with me and stuff. And my buddy says to me, this is a kid I knew playing football up at Maine. He goes, I lost my son to a drunk driver 6 months ago. His 18-year-old son, who was, a star athlete and everything. And I felt horrible to a degree, because I also know that they know I didn't know that. But that's the dangers. If you take that away from a comedian, you can't. I can't make fun of anybody. Fucking
exactly, Nick.
And
when the type of thing where, the funniest shit, really, I'd hate to say it because I hate when it's dismissed, like the punching down thing. Oh, you
right.
Right. You're when you're especially a straight white guy, and with his health, and everything else going for you and whatever. There's nothing funnier than making fun of someone who is not that, in any way. And fucking, I don't know. I hate when people get too defensive over jokes. And like you hurt that person's feelings, let's say, or someone in his family.
Yeah.
I'd hate to call it like a casualty or whatever.
Right.
But just like with the girl with the chemo, no one listening to your show thinks for 1 second, you have a fucking bad feeling about anybody who's got to go through chemotherapy.
Thank you.
It's like.
And look,
it's fucking horseshit. It's just like whenever some racist calls up the show, like some guy calling Bill Cosby a monkey, which no one gives a shit about Cosby or whatever.
Right.
But I like when you set them straight too, because it's like fucking. I don't know. I love assholes doing comedy, and fucking. By the way, Nick, this show it's unlike anything else. Like we can get there's a few people I know you're not a fucking politics guy. You're more of a comedian first.
Right.
You're definitely
Right.
a comedian first, and
Right.
the best, by the way.
Thank you.
But as far as politics, when I want to hear it, I want to hear it from someone who goes right to the core of the issue, which is media bias and left-wing horseshit,
Right.
and calls it left-wing horseshit without being labeled this and that.
That's right.
'Cause it's
I call them like I see them, Billy. And that's, you always hear speaking truth to power and all this horse shit. Well, the power is on the left. That's why I laugh when they used to, and I like Jon Stewart, by the way, but they used to say, he's speaking truth to power in the Daily Show, when they are the power. They have all the institutions. They have education. They have the media. They are the power. Jon Stewart went to the White House 16 times. He's not so, but
it's fucking ridiculous. They imply that there's risk to anything they say. There is absolutely no risk. And fucking, I don't know, this show should be on fucking whatever, reaching billions of people, but it's just whatever, if you don't toe the line, there's a ceiling for you no matter what,
They always talk about a glass ceiling. It's a fucking left-leaning ceiling, but
the glass ceiling, the fucking glass ceiling. Maybe one day women will finally, Bob. I'm so sick and tired of this shit. Every woman, every peer of mine that's female has no trouble in life. It's horse shit.
All right, Billy. I appreciate the support, man. Thanks for the call.
You got it, Nick.
All
and
right.
I guess that guy Bob, I hope he sticks around and watches the show, but he's a bona fide cocksucker.
No, he's not. He's not. He's a fan. He actually emailed me on Patreon, and I answered him back. To be honest with you, I thought he was putting me on, because some people will do that. Even if like that joke hurt their feelings, even if they didn't know a sick kid or whatever. But I think he legitimately lost a kid or whatever. So I said, look, and I never apologize, but I thought he was putting me on. A lot of people will do that. I know it's safe.
Most of the time, whenever they.
So I apologized to him on Patreon. I just said, not apology for making the crack, but I thought that I really thought he was putting me on. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact. I don't know he's got a sick kid is the fucking point. And yes, it's going to hurt his feelings.
Yeah, and that you run that risk.
Of course.
And you know what? Even more so than that, someone does have a sick kid. It's still like there's like a risk. It's like who gives a shit? You're not doing it to hurt them or whatever. It's fucking. That's what makes it funny.
Right.
I swear, what made me laugh harder than the joke was like 30 seconds later when I finally came back to it, and you were on to something else, and it just made me laugh. Like, oh, he's on this. He moved on with his day, and like that's what's funny to me. Fucking. I know you're not an asshole or whatever,
I
but
know.
fucking. That's what I want to listen to.
Thanks, Billy.
But yeah, you got it, Nick. Thanks for taking my call, and I'll tune in.
All right, buddy. Thanks. There was another reference I used to do in my act. I just forgot to do it, but I bought an Oldsmobile for some reason when I got out of fucking college or whatever, and like a new one, and it fell apart. It was fucking plastic. Shit broke on it. 3 weeks after I had it, and I used to talk about it and say, I go, this car fell apart quicker than a 16-year-old girl in the witness stand for a rape case or whatever, some shit. Again, I'm sure that hurts somebody's but it was a great analogy. It's falling apart. It's actually smart. And I guarantee a writer, a David Sedaris type, would fucking laugh his balls over that. Going, great metaphor or whatever. Or not, he'd go, listen, you straight white male, I'll kick you in the nuts. But the point being, if I stop making references, and again, you're talking extemporaneously off the cuff, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck as a comic. I didn't get the family memo that you knew, eventually we won't be able to say anything. Making fun of Italian people. I had a guy complain about that when I was doing the fucking Olive Garden joke. Can you imagine that? So every once in a while, but for the most part, if it's funny, they'll shut there. But yeah, I have no beef with Bob in Ohio. Absolutely not. And I feel bad if that's the case, that he lost a son. Excuse me. Pardon me, I just burped. What we got here? Every time I'm calling for a video, poor Jason's trying to do two jobs at once. Did you see this reporter shouting at Sarah Sanders today? A reporter shouted, do your job, at the White House press secretary, Sarah Sanders, as she wrapped up the briefing after roughly 15 minutes at the podium. Here is the video of this guy. Andrew
I'd encourage you guys to tune in to the president's event. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Scott.
Sarah. 1 minute briefing, Sarah. Do your job, Sarah.
Do your job, Sarah. Did you hear that, skunk? But I understand why he yelled it out, because he works a very powerful network, Breakfast Media. Andrew Feinberg confirmed to Fox that he was the reporter who shouted, do your job, Sarah. Feinberg took to Twitter following the incident, sending a variety of messages that coincide with the message barked to Sanders. He said, and I think this is his tweet, Sarah Huckabee Sanders refuses to do the job for which she is paid like you are, you fucking... Can you imagine anybody from the media complaining that somebody else isn't doing their job? That is laughable on its face. She's not doing the job for which she is paid money raised from U.S. taxpayers. She delays each briefing so she can use a presidential event as an excuse to end it early. She does not respond to emails. You're the only one whining, Andrew. She does not meet with most reporters, Feinberg tweeted. Why is she here? Why? Because she's good at her fucking job, unlike you.
Problem. You're the fucking problem. You fucking Dr. White, onkin jamrag, arkin spunk bubble. I'm telling you, H, you keep looking at me, I'm going to put you in the fucking ground. I promise you. Not this time.
Not everyone was amused by the outburst, though, and some media members defended Sarah Huckabee Sanders on Twitter. Jordan Schatzkel responded, "Your conduct was rude and extremely unprofessional. It's not your job to shout out to the White House press secretary and tell her how to do her job. Props for shooting your shot for the CNN/MSNBC gig, though." Ah, love it. Washington Examiner reporter Paul Bedard added, and White House reporters wonder why Trump canceled their Christmas party. Feinberg followed up by claiming that he hasn't been able to get a single meeting with Sanders since she replaced Sean Spicer as press secretary. Oh, they're too baby. Oh.
Can you stay categorically? You are fake news. Sir.
But he works for Breakfast Media. I didn't even bother Googling it to see how they slant. I couldn't. Let's go to our buddy Drew in Virginia. Drew, what's going on? Merry Christmas, fella.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you too, Nick. Just wanted to kind of piggyback on what that last caller said. You made a lot of good points, and I was just saying that, I worked as a EMT for like 5 years, and I've been in law enforcement 23 years, and we kind of have the same kind of kind of darker comedy.
Yes.
But Nick, it's what we're actually taught that in training. Like, hey guys, we get it. That's your way of, I've seen some horrific things in my life, man. And it's like, if I don't make jokes about it, I'm going to end up, putting a shotgun in my mouth one night. You have to do that.
Yes.
And I understand that thing with the jokes that we're not as funny as you guys, obviously, but of course we all bullshit in a corner away from a crime scene, and we're like, hey, did you see blah, blah, blah?
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course. That's a defense mechanism. It's a survival mechanism.
It is.
If you brought that shit home with you, you would put a gun in your mouth or your wife's mouth or your kid's mouth, because it happens from time to time. And,
right.
And a comedian, real comedians, the good ones, they chose to deal with life. We see at an early age what a tub of shit life is, and this is how we choose to deal with it. I was saying inappropriate, off-color shit when I was in 6th grade. I really think it's a defense. It's not an excuse. It's what my dad found funny. I have a whole bit of one of my albums about my dad fucking laughing his ass off. We were at McDonald's when we were kids, and this old lady comes out of McDonald's and she slips on some ice, and she's like, she's carrying a tray and like really smacks her head on the ground. And my father was belly fucking laughing, but he also got out and helped her. He also got up and helped her out, And that same McDonald's. This is another true story. Same McDonald's. This is months later. There's a seafood restaurant across the street. This lady comes out of the restaurant and gets in the driver's side car and pulls the car up front. She opens the driver's side and starts puking violently. Her friend comes out. Out of the same restaurant, gets in the car, and she starts throwing up. My father was laughing until he was almost fucking. It was called the 4 and a Half, the restaurant, and we were laughing at what a bad advertisement that was for that restaurant. They were power gacking like a fire hydrant. But I mean, you definitely, Drew, a guy in your line of work. If you didn't do that, man, you definitely kill yourself.
You know what, Nick? We all do it, but you know what else I have to add on to that is, and I hate to say it, I even saw it today as a part when I was at work.
Yeah.
Some of these newer guys, like these 24, 25-year-olds coming on.
Yeah.
You try saying one of those kind of jokes to them, and they look at you like you're crazy. You're a mental patient.
I get both.
I see it.
No, you're right. I mean, even Jason, when I say shit, I see him cringing over there because he's a decent kid, and. But I also have young millennial guys who absolutely find it a breath of fresh air They're sick of the PC. But yeah, absolutely. They're definitely cut from a different cloth. And I don't hold it against them. The media they've been marinating, ensconced in political correctness since they were born. Drew, hey, thanks for the call. I got to move along. Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for your service as a law enforcement guy and paramedic and everything else. And when you say shit on stage, and you especially if somebody's speaking off the cuff, I don't know how you can hold it against them. But anyhow, time for a palate cleanser. Ladies and gentlemen, people say, Nick, you're a comedian. What makes you laugh? Oh, shit like this. Keep playing it. I love it. Do it again. 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 Come on, if she didn't fucking tear her... You know what? She's laughing. Like she's young and flexible. If that's me, I'm out. I'm out with an ACL and MCL for the next 2 years. Holy shit. And I've told this story before. Nothing makes me fucking laugh hard when somebody hurts themselves, especially a friend of mine. And here comes the dark sense of humor thing. I was laying around. I've told the story before. I'm going to tell it again if you guys haven't heard. Laying around on a lazy fucking Saturday afternoon in my buddy's apartment. This is when we were fresh out of college. We're having a few beers and shit. The Red Sox are on. And my buddy gets up, and he's in his bare feet. He's like in shorts. And he's imitating like pitchers winding up. And he does Louis Tion, who used to do like a 180. So he goes to wind. He kicks the coffee table with his bare feet. I heard his toe break. I heard the fucking toe break. He went down like he was fucking shot. I have never seen a grown man come this close. It made me laugh. His foot was bleeding. I almost fainted from laughing so hard. I used it in acting class 5 years later when I moved to New York, or 4 years. Used it in acting class. I had a laugh in a scene. I've used it ever since. If I sit here right now, if I'm in an elevator, I'm in a quiet room, and I picture that, I'm fucked. But that coffee table, it had like a marble base. I swear to God, he kicked it so hard he moved it like a half inch. The thing must have weighed fucking 200. I heard the toe break. He went down. I was looking at his face when his foot made contact. So his face went from normal and happy to excruciating in a nanosecond. And I've never fucking laughed harder. And my goddamn, he was actually had tears in his fucking eyes. People Don Gavin used to from Boston. He goes, hey, what's funnier than, I don't know, what's funnier than somebody falling down a flight of stairs or somebody catching on fire? That's the one that gets me. I mean, can I see that broad again, please? If this didn't go fucking viral. Got to cue it up. My fault. I don't know how the technology works. Again. Oh, Jason, get her on the phone. Honest to God, though, if I did that, not now. No, I'm kidding. What? Oh, yeah, there's another fucker.
There's actually a phone call.
Okay, I got to wrap it up soon here, so hope it's a quick one. I hope it's the girl going, I'm all right. Bad time for a phone call, actually. Let me get this out of the way. This is an update on a story I did earlier. USC students demand prof's firing after he defends due process. Again, from the leftist fucking lunacy. Earlier this semester, USC Professor James Moore came under fire after he decided to defend due process rights for the accused of sexual assault. Moore sent an email to his academic department expressing his thoughts about the state of discourse surrounding due process in the context of sexual misconduct allegations. And he said, in quotes, if the day comes, and he sent this in his email, you are accused of some crime or tort of which you are not guilty, and you find your peers automatically believing your accuser, I expect you find yourself a stronger proponent of due process than you are now. Oh, my God, how radical. He should be kicked the fuck off campus. Can you imagine being that fucking left-leaning and retarded? Dozens of students immediately called for Moore to be terminated. They organized a group of protests and called on the administration to take action against Moore. Professor James Moore has created a hostile environment. No, you have, with your left-wing fascism. You have created the hostile environment where somebody like him can't say something without his job being threatened. Now there's a hostile environment. What the fuck? It's a mental illness, I swear to God. In which many survivors of sexual assault do not feel safe. So him by saying that, I'm sure he got thousands of phone calls from rape victims. Now I don't feel safe. If you feel as we do that this is unacceptable and that USC must take action to remove this man from his position of power, join us in protest. I'll join you in protest with a fucking, you know what, super soaker filled with my favorite cat urine. Seeing Mr. Moore's email in my inbox was quite upsetting, another female student said. The initial email was meant to raise our attention to an absolutely critical initiative. Give me a fucking break.
You're raping me! This is rape! This is rape! This is rape!
As a female student, I feel very uncomfortable that a male professor whom I have never met is trying to interfere with my access to knowledge about my federal rights. What? One of the female graduate students said in an email as she scratched her handlebar mustache.
Get out of my room, you sick cunt.
Due process. We're one of the only nations that have such a thing. One of the few. Wow. Talk about sheeple. Group mentality, group think. Liberal fascism. And people like Judd Apatow would agree with it. Well, if it's a guy and he has a dick, he's probably guilty. My aching stem. Our buddy Ron E. Bell, who sent us the clip. Which one did he send us?
I think it was the falling chick.
It was. Oh, Ron, you make me laugh. Hold on. I have to. I'm getting all these updates available things that are blocking my. I can't wait for the computer to die. Hey, Ronnie, what's up? Thank you for all the stuff you sent too, by the way.
Oh, no problem, Nick. And it's just Ebel. You don't have to stretch out the bell part. It's Ebel, like the watch.
Oh, my wife said it's Ebel.
Yeah, it's just Ebel. But everybody always gets it wrong. Don't worry about it.
Ronnie E.
But thank you for you. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for using the clip. I have to admit, when you introduced the Bambi thing, I thought you were going to play it then because it kind of looks like Bambi falling down the ice.
I know. She went. No, you had a good line. You actually had a good line. I think on Patreon. You said it's more gruesome than any quarter. Like Joe Theismann breaking his leg.
Yeah, I thought this is like Joe Theismann, Alex Smith now, I guess. But I wanted to know if you saw the thing I posted about Johnny Most, an old clip of him going off on the Detroit Pistons.
I know the clip you're talking about, but I haven't seen it in a long time, or heard it, I should say.
Okay. I put it there a few days ago. I put it at the top of Patreon on the community page again if you want to have a look at it sometime. But it's him going nuts.
I'll make a note.
On the Pistons. I thought it was funny as hell.
It's unbelievable. And Isaiah Thomas stitches put out like a schoolyard punk.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Ronnie, I got to run here. I got to wrap it up. But, again, thank you for all the shit you send us, man. And that one got me. The way she fell, anybody in pain with those shoes on just makes me laugh.
I know what you mean. Like that old joke, you want to make a comedian laugh, you throw an old man down a flight of stairs, right?
Yeah, no, if you want to make, the old W.C. Fields said, if you want to make a civilian laugh, You dress a guy up like an old lady and push him down the stairs. You want to make a comedian laugh, you push an old lady down the stairs. That's the fucking...
Okay, bye, Nick.
See you, Ronnie. Love Ronnie. He's like a humble dude who fucking lives on the internet. I'm afraid he's going to do one of the school shootings sometime. But you know what? He'll do it with a fucking funny... He'll put it up on Patreon. No, I'm not encouraging any of that shit, folks. I was fucking, in case anybody takes it wrong. Last time I made a joke about it on Twitter, I lost a job. I lost a job, but I found another one. All right, I'm going to hold this stir about an Alabama family who sees racism in everything. Anyways, we'll hit on that. A black family, by the way. Yes, there is something called a black and racism. You wouldn't know that. And I got a picture of a couple models I'm going to show you tomorrow. They're very, fucking very hot. Jason, keep those queued up for tomorrow. All right?
You got it.
All right. Hey, Patreon members, thank you so much, especially you new guys who just joined. We love to have you. Again, I don't know the fucking future of the show because we hear a lot of things about, how, well, we rub them the wrong way. But again, to this point, I can't be bitching. I don't do a fucking, outrageously, whatever. But it goes against you don't have to today. That's the point. But people to get their panties in a bunch on the far left. All right, so that's it. Remember, you think it, I'll say it. And you're welcome. I'll see you later. Take care of yourselves.